Hello, and welcome to Marathon Swim Stories, where we explore the human side of the superhuman feats of endurance swimmers and those who support them. I'm marathon swimmer and coach Shannon Keegan. As marathon swimmers, we know what it's like to be misunderstood. But can you imagine being the mom of a young marathon swimmer? I was struck by the amount of judgment that Jillian and James have faced in their 6 years of pursuing James's dreams. While signing your child up for violin lessons or gymnastics and pushing them hard at a very young age is perfectly acceptable, supporting your child as they push themselves in the water can apparently lead to Child Protective Services showing up at your door. Fortunately, James and Jillian have found a great network of supportive mentors and adult swim adventure buddies who want to see how far this kid can go. I hope you enjoy this episode. James, what's your story? How did you get into this long distance swimming stuff, James?
I really don't remember.
You have no idea? Good thing your mom's here to help us out.
Go for it.
I just saw a commercial of the Alcatraz swim with Shark Fest, and I just wanted to do it because I was oblivious what it really was. I was like, "Oh, I want to do that," and I did it 3 days later.
How old were you at the time when you first discovered
8,
shark? 8. Okay. And how old are you now?
14.
14. Okay. So you've come a long way.
Yeah. I was hoping it would be a one and done, and we didn't want to let him do it at first. But we figured, we kind of had a plan. Let's let him do it. He'll hate it. He'll be done. And he got out and said, "When's the next one?" So our plan backfired on us.
Yeah. So that was Shark Fest for Alcatraz. Okay. And then what was next after that?
There was one in San Diego from San Diego to Coronado.
Oh, okay.
That's about a mile.
Okay. And what did you like about it when you first did this?
I just liked how it was more different than just the pool. Like the pool's the same thing over and over, just swimming laps. Open water, you can explore different places and see different things.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So you did a mile in San Diego. When did you start kind of getting into the distances and stuff?
About my very first Alcatraz or my big Alcatraz swim, which is about 3 miles to touch and go,
Touch
and
and
then
go.
I just kept wanting to do more from there.
Uh-huh. So what was like your first marathon, like 10K type distance?
My very first marathon swim was San Luis Reservoir. It was 7.3 miles.
Okay. And what was that like when you finished that?
Gross.
I hated that swim. I'm never gonna do it again.
It was really, really gross.
That
They get a
happens.
lot of algae in there, and a couple ladies swam with us. Kathy Harrington, her suit is still, we call it San Luis green. It was nasty.
It started off as a joke and then it actually happened.
Yes, it was a joke. We were actually driving over the highway, and our truck broke down. And while we were sitting there, I looked at it and I go, "James, you think you can swim that?" And he goes, "Yeah, probably." So we started talking about it, started talking to Reptile, and he goes, "Let's do it." And he called up and said, "When do you want to do it?" And I said, "I don't really care." And he goes, "How about this weekend?" So it was like 3 or 4 days later, we went and did it.
So what's your training like at this point in your early beginning of your swimming career?
I was going every day at the lake,
Mm.
swimming about 3 to 4 miles. Before my Tahoes, I will do the perimeter of the entire lake, which is about 10 miles every Friday.
Oh wow. Cool. 10 miles every Friday? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
The party day.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said this was in preparation for the doing the length? Is that what you said?
It was for my other one. So
Oh,
far,
okay.
I'm not training so much at the time because I have not only high school sports, but the lake is also really cold, so it's
Yeah.
hard to get a lot of mileage in. So it's more cold water training than it is distance.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just starting to warm up.
Yeah. Okay, so take me back to that. So you did the first 7 mile, never gonna do that again. What was the next one for you?
My next one was, I think, the Viking.
His Vikings home. Okay, and that was the one you were doing 10 miles, you said, every Friday leading up to that?
Wow. That one's 10.5 miles across Tahoe.
Mm-hmm. What was that like when you did that one?
That one was probably one of my favorite swims for sure.
Yeah. What was so fun? What was it about it that made it your favorite?
The clear water, the fish, and the area I was swimming in towards the end.
In Emerald Bay.
Yeah, in Emerald Bay.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed that one.
Yeah. What why did you want to do more long stuff?
Let's get him off his phone.
I don't know, just once I started swimming in Tahoe, I've done a lot of Tahoe swims. I've done the Godfather swim, which is the shirt she's wearing right now, and the, what's that other one? The Truest is what they call it?
Fat middle.
The fat middle.
Fat middle, that's right. Yeah.
Fat middle. And that was a last minute swim too. But he fell in love with Tahoe, and all he wants to go do is swim in Tahoe.
How far is that for you, driving wise?
Actually, in the mornings at the time we leave, only 3.5, 3:45 to get there. It's not bad at all. Tom will call us and say, "Hey, you want to go for a swim?" And okay, so we drive up and we go for a swim in Tahoe.
Do you feel like that's for you, James? Does it feel like a lot to like kind of push yourself, like if to do things last minute versus kind of planning them out? Like, what's your feeling on those?
Yeah, for sure. I like to plan them out better just because I have better training days. Like there's days where, like, if I'm not doing anything, we'll just go out to the lake to do a quick fun swim and just get it done over with. And when I don't have time to plan it, it's just kind of, oh, you have 2 days to train, let's go. With my San Luis one, that's probably why it was really hard, because I had a whole 2 days.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to just do it all of a sudden.
Something is making a noise behind us.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something in his room.
So then after you've done so many Tahoe swims, what else do you have your eye on?
I did do Coronado. I swam around Coronado.
She just did that one too.
In December. Oh, really?
She did it the other day.
Yeah, last weekend. Was it last week? I've lost track of time. Did you like doing that one in San Diego?
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. The only downside to it was because I also didn't. The lake was really cold at the time. It was 47 degrees, so I was swimming for a whole hour, or if that. And I didn't have very long distance training in that one, so it felt like it took forever.
Yeah.
I had the quickest time ever for it. But
and he actually set the record for the time out there.
You sure did.
We were really surprised on that. Yeah. And the first thing he did, he's like, Mom, call Catherine. Catherine Breed, tell her she's not allowed to swim that ever and take my record away. So we did.
Yeah. That's well, hopefully you'll be the youngest probably for a really long time.
Maybe.
Do you like saltwater better or freshwater?
It all depends. They both got their ups and downs. I like saltwater probably a little bit better just because it's more buoyant and it's warmer in a way.
Yeah, I noticed that when I did Coronado, because I went to Lake Shasta a couple days before, which was about low 50s, but freshwater, and it felt like a big difference to me to mid 50s, like salt. But yeah. How often? So I can't remember where you're located exactly. Like how often do you get to swim in the salt versus swim freshwater?
I usually swim in the freshwater because there's a lake like within 10 miles of my house, so
Okay.
we usually go there. But if we're like it's a weekend or something, and Reptile wants to say, "Oh, we're doing a swim really soon in San Francisco or whatever," we'll drive up that weekend and just go do it.
That's great. It's good to have that connection, a pilot connection like that.
They've got a great connection. We joke that James and Reptile are their BFFs. And it's totally not unheard of to see these two walking down the street together. And a lot of, we've had a few people go, "Oh, Reptile, is this your grandson?" No, no, it's James's best friend.
Yeah, that's fun though. That's good to have that connection.
It really is. When he was younger, we had a lot of issues, and they're understandable where people don't want to take him on because he was younger. He's a liability. He's a risk. So the few people who have said, "Oh, absolutely, let's go, let's try it, let's do it," they really hold a special place in our hearts, because we've had to take a lot of risks. We've had people tell him, "No, you're not good enough." Right before, I guess it was before he got this Tahoe idea, we had called someone and they said, "Absolutely not. He's not qualified to swim a mile in the bay." And I tried to explain, "Well, he's been doing that for a couple of years." And they said, "No, you're a parent. You're over exaggerating his swimming abilities. We all do that as parents." And it was kind of hard to hear.
Yeah.
But then, I called Reptile, not knowing who he was. And I said, "Here's the thing. My kid wants to do this. Da, 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 da." He said, "Okay." And I said, "By the way, he's 10. And that's usually where we get the, "Oh, no. And he was really good. He said, "You know what? Let's try it." He said, "Let me meet him first and make sure these are," we call them his dumb ideas. "Make sure these are his dumb ideas and not my dumb ideas."
Yeah.
And just, because they're also our parents that tend to push their kids. But anyone who has ever met James, they all know it's completely self-driven. We'll go out swimming somewhere, and 3 hours before we're supposed to start, he's down there putting his feet in the water and splashing around, and he just absolutely loves it. And anyone that knows him can see that within 10 minutes. And since then, Tom and James are just buddy. It's really cute.
And that's been for 4 years now. So you guys built a long relationship.
Yeah. And, I talk to Reptile all the time on the phone. Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Pick him out.
So I don't know how to get back to her on here.
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So Tom has been a huge supporter of James, and the reason why he's gotten to do so many of these different things, because again, a lot of people kind of, no, he's too little, and Reptile's like, "Let's do it." And he makes it happen.
Yeah.
Which is great.
What's the hardest part for you, James? So what's been your longest swim so far? Remind me that first.
That would be the Viking. No, the Godfather.
The Godfather.
It was my longest one. It was 6 hours and 59 minutes.
Yeah, it was a 12-mile. It's a Tahoe crossing.
Except it has a lot of cross current, so it's really choppy towards the end. Like after you hit the middle, like the second half is always going to be the worst because of the cross current, and that's when it takes you forever.
What was that like for you? Like in your head, like how do you kind of get through that?
It's hard. You just got to put your head down and swim through it and not look, because every time you look up, you feel like you're not moving because you're kind of not.
Right.
After so long, you'll start seeing it slowly get closer, and that's when you get the adrenaline. Like, yes, I'm almost done. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you found how do you think marathon swimming has helped like your kind of day-to-day high school life, or has it?
Not really. I just swim and go to school.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Just
state where I can. Someone will call me and go, "We want to come swimming?" And we'll play hooky for school, and I'll come home after and do work. We're out of town at a doctor's appointment, not swimming or anything.
Right. I see.
Yeah, we have done that after one of I think it was just his fat middle in Tahoe. Afterwards, we go and we eat at Bert's Cafe. And there was James logged into his school, and his teacher's like, "Where are you?" And he goes, "Oh, I just swam across the lake." And they're like, "You mean you went swimming in the lake?" No,
No.
across it. So yeah, we get a lot of car rides is with or the distance learning.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little funnier to check out James's backgrounds when he's at school because usually there's a body of water involved.
You can be a little more creative in where you're learning from. That's great.
When he did his round trip Angel Island swim, I actually had his phone on my kayak and I logged him into PE. So he got credit that day because he was doing a little bit of a workout that morning.
Yeah, I guess so. That's funny. How's the pandemic been for you? We'll go with James first.
Really hasn't affected it affected me a little bit at the beginning when they closed their lake. And I tied myself up to a bungee cord in my backyard and tied myself to a fence. I swam in place for about an hour to 2 hours every day.
Wow.
But that was only for like a month or two, and once the lake opened back up, it hasn't really affected me. Just wear a mask in the store, that's about it. I still go out, ride bikes with my friends, and
so you did lose your swim team.
I did lose my swim team, yeah, but that wasn't because of COVID.
No, your Merced one, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
What was that? Was kind of a
yeah, totally.
I got high school.
Yeah, he has high school now. It was a very short season, but being in a pool, it does help him. He's on the faster side of swimming, and a lot of that has to do with how much time he spends in a pool on top of being in the lake. And even with his last couple swim meets, we've noticed his times aren't what they used to be.
Well, they are now.
They are now. But we do need to get him back in a pool for part of it, but everything's just getting so busy. Yeah. Between I have 2 other kids to deal with. I have a husband, and I deal with him a lot. Yeah. High school, then high school sports, and everything on top of it. He really keeps us busy.
Yeah. How's the pandemic been for you, Jillian?
Actually, besides having to wear a mask in the store, I've been practicing social distancing since before it was cool. And I'm kind of I like to stay at home. I don't have big parties and let people come over. So really nothing has changed much for me. We still go to the lake every morning and swim. Then go to swim at night and swim. I sit in my car. Not much has changed.
Yeah.
I just got to remember to bring a mask everywhere I go.
Right. Yeah. Give us, I think we kind of glossed over your background. So how old were you when you started swimming, James?
Open water or pool, or just in general?
At all, ever. What's your first memory of swimming? Let's start with that, and then we'll go with Mom's first memory of you swimming.
Telling me no.
Yeah. I didn't want to join the swim team at first, but my brother was doing it, and she's like, "Well, I gotta sit at this practice. It's hot summer. Might as well just get in and swim." I'm like, "But okay, fine, but I'm not doing backstroke and butterfly." But then little did I know, and I got in, I liked it, and those are my 2 best strokes this day.
Those were actually the first 2 records he broke for the county too.
Oh wow!
For backstroke and butterfly, and that he was adamant, "No, I am not doing that." And I said, "I don't care. Just go be 5." He was 5.
Yeah.
So he went and he did it, and it turned out he kind of fell in love with it.
Do you think you'll ever do any marathons, butterfly? Or backstroke?
See that I don't know. To this day, like after so long, I don't really do butterfly because like I usually do open water, and I could barely do 50 now. I get 50 and I'm already tired.
Yeah. Yeah, have you heard of, like, John Batchelder and some of the other there's a couple other Dan Pajansky butterfly
Yes.
marathoners?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't
That in your future?
Maybe backstroke.
backstroke maybe. Butterfly is that's out of the question.
Yeah, I
Never
think
say never.
right, exactly.
Never.
That's what it says today. You know, he's told me before, never, never. And then he's like, Mom, let's go do this. I thought you said never. Well, so
What's your first memory of James swimming? Was he a baby when he had lessons, or?
you know what? No. We do have a pool in our backyard. So like with my oldest son, and he was my first 3 months old. I was that mom, put him in the water. Let's do swim lessons. All he did was, splash around. But at the same time, he caught on to it really quick. By one, he was wearing nothing but a smile in the pool, and he was swimming and having fun. James, no. James liked to go stand on the steps, and that was it. He would spit water at his brother. He'd splash him. Wanted nothing to do with learning how to swim. He had this little, we called it a super swimmy suit, and it had the pads in it to make them float.
Oh, right, yeah.
Bob around like a little cork. And he would not take that off. And he was finally, it was what, 4.5, and we were in Vegas, and we were at this hotel that had a pool with a water slide, and he wanted to go down it so bad. And on the way home, all he did was complain that he didn't get to go down the water slide. And we said, as soon as you learn how to swim on your own, we'll take you back. You can go down the water slide. We pulled up to the house. He went in the backyard. He swam across the pool, and he got out and said, now you got to take me back to Vegas. So I did. It was like 3 or 4 days later, we drove back to Vegas because stupid mom had to, make a deal. And he got to go down that water slide over and over and over. And then he joined the swim team with his brother, and that was the end of it.
That was the end of
We
it.
lost him. We
Right.
lost him to the water.
Yeah, by 8.
Yeah. Well, at that time he was 5, and it was just a summer rec league.
Yeah.
But they had it divided up into age groups where the 5 to 12 would swim one session and the 13 to 18 would swim another session. Well, James swam both of them.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't get him out of the other one.
Oh, wow.
So there was this little, 5-year-old in the first lane, but he was still beating the older kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of left him because we all thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Little did we know, we'd still be doing this.
Yeah. What swim are you most proud of, James?
Probably San Luis because that's the toughest swim I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I don't think anyone wants to do that.
Because of the algae, you think? Or
The lake,
It-
nasty.
yeah.
It's gross. It's very windy out there too. I mean, we lucked out. By the time we got back to what's called Portuguese Cove, we were all blocked by the wind. Apparently, they had red lighted the lake. So
Oh.
all the boats were getting off, and we had a little bit of an issue that day. We had 2 other swimmers with us, and we had 2 Zodiacs. We had Reptile in one Zodiac, and we had John Grunston in another Zodiac with the girls. And about a mile into their swim, his Zodiac broke.
Oh,
So
no.
there's John paddling across San Luis Reservoir. And I had Reptile with me. I was in a kayak. He was in the Zodiac. He was swimming. We get a mile from the end, and Reptile Zodiac broke.
Oh, goodness.
And at that point, they put the tracker on my kayak, and they were like, just make it to the end. Someone has to make it to the end. And we ended up leaving him just floating in the middle of the lake. And we made it to the end. And finally, this boat pulled up to us and said, hey, we're here to pick you up. Your friend that's floating over there. And I said, can we wait till just 5 more minutes? We just got to get to that point. And they said, absolutely. And actually, they recognized him. They're like, oh, wait, you're the Alcatraz kid, huh? Yeah. So they went and parked at the end. And they picked us up. Turns out there's some of our our greatest friends now.
Oh, that's great.
But he goes, you do know they red lighted the lake, right?
Oh, goodness.
No, he goes, you're never going to make it back to the start in a kayak. And as soon as we came around that corner, water's going everywhere. Wave. It's like, oh, whoops. But it was a really hard swim.
Yeah.
You know, it was a long day.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was glad it was over.
Right. And that was the first like marathon, right?
That was his first,
Yeah.
legal marathon.
Legal marathon. Right. There's
You
maybe
know,
some kind of pride in that too, huh, James? Like that it was your first time really pushing yourself and getting through all those like that tough situation.
yeah,
And
it
makes
was.
you think you can do anything.
Yeah, we got to see his little breakdown in the middle of it, and we had what we call a come to Jesus talk in the middle of the lake. And Reptile laughed at us because he was so funny. He was like, I'm done. I want to get out. This sucks. It's cold. And I told Tom, I'm like, plug your ears. We're going to have our little talk. And so he turned around and I'm like, look, you were the one that wanted to do this. You were the one that made me come out here. You told me before we left, do not let you out of the water, even if you cried or threw a temper tantrum. So guess what? You're not getting out of the water. Shut up and swim. And he was like, okay. And he shut up, put his head down, and he swam to the end.
Wow.
So Reptile turned around, just started laughing. He goes, I can't believe you just did that. And I'm like, it worked, right?
Is that a common thing for you, James? Or do you just kind of need that push?
I usually have a breakdown in the middle, like to where like because it's you need to have mental training to do these swims. Like you need to be able to just shut up and just like tell yourself you're gonna get through it. Just like you'll be like, it's only this far, you can just swim it like it's any other day you're training.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anything that you've gotten out in the middle of, like that you've actually not finished?
I actually did do my very first Viking. I didn't make it. I made it halfway, but that was when it was very smoky, like when the fire was going and in the air, and I got a really bad migraine in the middle of it because I get migraines a lot.
Oh man!
I got a really bad one, and I was 5 miles. I was like halfway, but I had to get out because I was throwing up. And
he was like 11, and you know, he's still little. There's plenty of time for him to do. So we pulled him out, and he was so upset. He cried.
Oh, was he?
In fact, on our way home, I didn't realize he had taken my phone, and he called Reptile, and he set up another date to come swim.
Oh my gosh!
And told me afterwards, Mom, by the way, you need to take me to Tahoe this day because I'm going for a swim.
Wow.
And
I bet you can't wait until he can drive, huh?
Oh dear God.
Oh, I'm already like learning.
Yeah. The back roads. We kind of live out in the sticks. So
yeah, but that'll be nice. Instead of the mom, time to take me to Tahoe.
Yes, that will be really nice not to have to go at 1, 2, 3 in the morning and go to Tahoe to swim, or go wherever, San Francisco and wherever they're trying to make us go.
Make you.
Yeah, make us.
Right.
I don't think James has ever turned down a swim. I don't think
There's
so.
only one time where I got a headache. I couldn't go to Jenkinson Lake.
Yeah. He had a migraine. We didn't take him.
That's a good plan.
But that's about it. I mean, you ask him, you want to go swim here? Absolutely.
Yeah.
He'll go with anyone, anywhere, anytime. And I kind of have to go. Right. Where needs money.
You don't get veto power if you're like, no, not this time.
Everybody goes, why don't you say no? And yes, I could easily say no. You can ask my kids. I say no a lot. I'm the mean mom. But at the same time, he works so hard at this. He doesn't have to do it. This is what he loves. Why would I say no? If he has these big goals and dreams, who am I to stop them? Sometimes we'll eat ramen for a week so he can go do a swim type of thing.
Yeah.
But if we can do it, why not? This is his thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and if my other kids had a thing too, like this, we would do the same thing. And my husband and I would have to divide and conquer and take someone somewhere else. But we do spend a lot of time.
Well, that's because everyone else is lazy. They don't do any sports. They
Hey.
sit at home and do nothing.
Shh, you're giving away all our
Everybody's got their own idea of fun. And for you and me, James, it's swimming a lot. I get it. My kids are like, "Do you have to go swimming?" I'm like, "No, but I really want to."
Absolutely. And it really, there's been days where he has really bad days and he's crabby and he's miserable, and I'll go, "Let's go swim." And he goes, "No, I don't want to." And just shut up and get in the car, and we'll go out to the lake. And as soon as he gets in, he's in his zone, he's in his happy place, and he gets out and he's like, "Okay, that's what I needed." Like, I know that's what you needed. It works.
What about for you, Jillian? Do you always go out on a kayak or mostly watch from the shore, like 50-50? Like, what's it like for you?
I'm with him 99% of the time in a kayak. There's been, like, if we'll go to Santa Cruz, I don't like to kayak in Santa Cruz, but I will send him with other adult swimmers that are more than capable of taking care of him. But 99% of the time I'm with him. I won't send him out alone. Definitely not alone. So if that means I have to get up, balance the coffee between my knees and the kayak and go, that's what I do.
Yeah. On the date, like for you, does it, do you kind of get the same like happy place thing for you to go out and be on the water near
It
him?
is. I never knew I would like kayaking. I did a canoe once and I said never again. And when he started this open water thing, my friend had said, "Well, you need to get a kayak and go with him." And I said, "Absolutely not. That's what I have you for." And she's like, "Shut up and get in the kayak." And I got in and I loved it. So I went home that night and bought one online. And now I've gotten my friends to buy them too. So when the kids are in school, we take our kayaks out and go during the day too.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. What about what was that?
It's a good break from reality.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. What about anything in store this year, James? Anything you're planning?
The Length of Tahoe on August 1st.
August 1st?
August 1st.
Exciting.
Yeah, we talked about Anacapa too.
No.
But now he's saying no. So
Yeah.
we'll just work on the length.
Yeah. Well, I guess Anacapa's like what, 12 miles?
Yeah,
it's like 12.4.
But if you think of it, if we do the length, Anacapa will seem really easy. So
okay, then
there we go.
Okay.
He'll do the length first, and then we'll do Anacapa. Yeah.
Do you get to cap the big swims, Mama, from a financial standpoint?
No, I just tell my husband work a few more hours.
Put James out with a lemonade stand between practices.
Right. He used to have a lemonade stand, but he never spent the money on swimming. And he still does, every weekend he mows lawns. But that money's not for swimming. Only my money's for swimming.
Oh yeah. I want to waste your money, not mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not that you're only 14, maybe next year or the year after.
And it's really sad when he'll pull out more money out of his pocket than I have. And, we were in San Francisco the other day and he goes, "Mom, I want this shirt." It's only $7, which is really nothing. But I said,
the shirt I'm wearing right
now. And, so I said, "Then buy it." He goes, "Well, I don't want to spend my money on it. I want your money."
Like $40 in my pocket.
Yeah. But yeah, we do seem to spend a lot of money on swim.
Yeah.
There's things I'd like to go do, but it's like, oh no, we got to swim that weekend. Or no, we've got an RV payment because we had to buy an RV.
That's right. Tell us that story. When did you decide to get the RV to save money on hotel costs? I only got wind of this by email, but
yeah, well, it was we bought it because we wanted to keep going out and go camping. In fact, that morning that we got this idea, we're going to buy a trailer, we bought a travel trailer. We'd bought a brand new tent. We were going to go camping. We haven't used that tent yet. Then we went across the street and decided, no, we want this RV. And it really has saved on hotel rooms.
Yeah.
There's months for swim season, for pool swimming. There was a month where we had spent 5 days in a hotel for Junior Olympics. We
Mm.
came home, we were home 3 or 4 days, and we went to age group regionals for another 5 or 6 days. Then we came home for 3 or 4 days, and then we went to the Western Zones for another 4 or 5 days. And I was in a hotel more than I was at home.
Yeah.
So we said, well, at least with the RV, we can travel. So when we go to Tahoe and stuff, we'll bring the trailer and we camp out, and everywhere we camp, there's always swimming.
There's water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pool.
And for
That's
those
great.
multi-day swim meets, it's amazing, especially in the summer out here, it gets to be 110, 115.
Yeah.
So when we're at a swim meet all day long, it's very nice to be able to go back and have air conditioning.
Yeah.
And we could just sit in there and close the doors and be happy and not be outside.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many years have you had the RV for?
Actually, we just had our 5-year anniversary with
wow.
it,
That's great.
and we love it. We make our big camping trip the last few years has been when we go to Tahoe. We'll pick a campground and we go up, and we'll stay before the swim, we'll stay after the swim, and the Tahoe swim in the middle is just the bonus.
That's great. I need to know for future planning for myself and my family, where's your favorite place to camp around Tahoe?
Actually, Tahoe Valley Campground's right across the street from Bert's.
I like the other place that we went.
That was Ponderosa.
Yeah, that's better.
We got 1,000 Trails membership, so we've been trying them all out. But for swimming in Tahoe, the Tahoe Valley Campground is right there.
Okay.
Just watch out for the bears.
Okay. How far in advance do you have to make reservations?
Actually, on that one, we managed to get it like a week before.
Oh, wow.
Which is amazing because usually that one fills up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But and we've done even outside of Tahoe this year. We're going to stay north, about 20 minutes away. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like Tahoe Valley.
Okay. And across from Bert's, I got to try Bert's out too. That sounds great.
Yes, everybody's got to go to Bert's to celebrate your swim.
Okay.
It's a cute little place.
It's tradition.
It's
Tradition. Okay. I didn't know about that when I went out for my length of Tahoe swim, but I guess yeah.
Now
I know.
Gotta go to Bert's.
Yeah. What's your training? How are you going to do your training? Same or different this year, James?
Probably the same.
Yeah.
Catherine Breed said she'd help me train for the length.
Yeah.
She holds a record, so she probably knows a little bit what she's talking about, right?
A little bit.
She's gonna be his pace swimmer and come with us.
Oh, cool.
He's never used a pace swimmer, but I figured
Catherine will be fun.
Catherine will be fun.
Yeah.
He loves to go swim with her up in the bay. I think we'll pretty much stick to what we've been doing. He'll swim 6 days a week at least. We'll start the beginning of the week with a little less mileage and then work up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes on the weekend we'll have other people come down and get their idea. What do you want to do? Type of thing. Robin's come out with us to the D Dam multiple times, and we just swim around and go until everybody gets hungry and wants to eat.
Good.
And then we go swim some more.
Yeah. That's great. Is there anything that you've learned about yourself through marathon swimming, James?
Not really. I just swim.
That he's stubborn, and actually he's very determined.
Yeah.
He's very determined, and he's stubborn almost to a bad, because if he does, he'll say he's very goal oriented. So he'll say, I want to swim this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to stop trying until he gets it done, especially when other people say, you can't do it. You're too small. You're too young.
Mm-hmm.
That's when his stubbornness comes out, because it's watch this. And he'll go do it to prove you wrong.
Right.
Pretty good at that.
Yeah, you are pretty good at that.
What about you, Jillian? What have you learned from having a son that's becoming a marathon, or yeah, an up and coming marathon swimmer, I guess you could say?
I don't know. I've learned that I can get up very early. I am early. Normally,
5 for no reason, just because. I'm like, okay.
But yeah, to get up and have to go and do this every morning, it does take a lot of dedication. Everybody goes, "Why do you do it?" Well, why wouldn't I? Well, I wouldn't do it. Well, that's good for you.
That's you, not me.
And there are days where I really don't want to get up. Because it's cold and it's miserable. And if I'm cold, I know he's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll balancing the coffee, like you say, coffee between the knees, kayaking. There was one day I was trying to get into my kayak with my coffee. And it was super dark and the boat ramp is really slippery. And I've already had double knee replacements when I was 25.
Gosh. Oh my God.
And I slipped, and to save the coffee, I went down on my knees and I ended up breaking my knee. And having to have surgery again, all to save the coffee.
Wow.
That's $5 coffee.
It was. And even after surgery, I'm in this brace from my hip to my ankle. I still went kayaking for him. It was a little harder to get in and out of the kayak.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not very pretty looking. But, yes, I fell. I broke myself. But I don't let that stop him. I'll keep doing it, whether I really want to or not.
Any siblings want to kayak, or husband? Anybody want to get out there in a kayak besides you?
My daughter, but we don't let her go very far.
Yeah.
Like when we were out at a little lake, she was so cute. We just had swim camp there a couple weeks ago, and I always keep chocolate in my kayak because it keeps the swimmers.
Robin loves chocolate.
Robin loves chocolate. Don't tell Robin secrets. Because I found if you get a bag of chocolate, when they get a little tired and crabby, if you give them chocolate, they're much happier. And it keeps them happy, keeps you happy. And my daughter was so cute. She's 11. And at the end of swim camp, we call it the Double D Dam crossing. It's like a quarter of a mile across at that point. And so my daughter was, Mom, can I kayak for that? Absolutely. And it was so cute because she put together this plate that had chocolate and cookies on it. And she's a very quiet little girl to begin with.
Oh, no, she's not.
Well, with other people. And
sibling perspective.
When all the swimmers came back, they were like, "Oh my God, that was the cutest thing." And I said, "What?" As soon as they got that quarter of a mile across, she brought out this plate and was handing out her cookies, her chocolate. She was so proud of herself, and she didn't say a word. And she won't go and do the big ones because she gets really tired after a few miles.
Mm-hmm.
But for the little ones, she loves to do it.
That's great. That's great.
It's fun. It's fun to watch her.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Right. That's great.
It gives me a break.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else you could tell us about. What would you tell somebody who wanted to do like a kind of an aspiring marathon swimmer, or especially someone who's like kind of your age? What would you tell them, James? How would you?
I know if you train hard enough, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let anyone tell you you can't. We've heard that so much. And for the most part, we very supportive community, the open water. We have met some great people, some great friends that, we talk to all the time, not just about swim. We've met this whole little family, but there are some negative, especially when you're young, and you just got to ignore that. Mm-hmm. It's hard. We had a swim coach from LA call CPS on us.
Oh, wow.
And brag about it on Twitter about how we were butthole parents that force our kid to swim. And that should be, child neglect. And I'm like, we should have our kids taken away from us for torturing them. And I mean, he was very proud of it online. And luckily at that point, CPS didn't show up. But we've had them show up, especially for him, because they think we force it or he shouldn't be doing it. This is what he loves to do. And, you talk to him for a few minutes. This is his thing, I get it. Most people wouldn't do it. But there's no reason not, as long as we're keeping him safe, we're taking all the, the safety precautions we can. We don't just send him out there with a pair of goggles and a slap on the butt and say, have fun, good luck, we'll see you at the end.
Yeah.
You pay big bucks to have all the good people with him. But try to ignore the negativity, because you will get it, unfortunately. And it's really sad. Because they just don't understand, even with the whole Alcatraz, you're sending him into shark-infested waters.
Get your back straight. There's not no great whites or bull sharks in that water, because the adults in all the fresh water, they can't handle it.
Yeah.
And so you gotta ignore it. And it's hard sometimes, especially as a mom. And when I see things online, he takes it as, watch this, I'm gonna prove him wrong, and he'll do it. But it's hard to see someone trash talking your kid,
It's the one time you just see that kid was like, you're gonna cry when I meet you, or you're gonna cry when I beat you.
But when they, I get a little mama bear about it. I don't respond to it, of course, but it is hard to see it sometimes, and I wish people would just quit. It's not worth it. You just make yourself look silly, and you're wasting the time of CPS coming to my house to investigate it, because he loves to swim. The last one that ended up coming, she looked at the name, she's like, oh, this is the swimmer kid. I follow him on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, that would be him. And she goes, wow, this is interesting. I said, yeah, so it's silly. I get mad at first, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, you're just dumb,
No.
You're more than welcome to come out with us. You're more than welcome to see what we do. It's fine.
Yeah.
But thankfully, there's a great community that helps out there.
What's it like for you when you do go to like pool competitions or like high school sports or whatever, James? Like it's like the, like balancing it out, like swimming with, Catherine Breed or, your adult like friend swimmers versus like these kids. Like, how do you kind of reconcile that?
I don't know. I just swim in open water. There's time
whatever.
Pool. My high school season, I am undefeated for the entire season.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. A lot of people don't recognize him, especially when they're coming in from out of town. We kind of laugh because James is on the smaller side. And so and it just so happens one of his best friends on the team is 6'5".
Oh, wow.
5'2". So when you see the tallest and the smallest walking around, I'm sure most people think that that's his little brother and taking around the pool deck for fun. A couple meets ago, like 2 weeks ago, they had a meet, and you could kind of hear the boys from the other team chattering about him. And then James had to swim against one of them, and James beat him. And he got out and he threw his goggles and he broke them.
Serious.
And he started yelling, I would have been fine losing to anyone but that one, And I get, they don't realize he does this every day, when you're swimming that 500. Yes, they find the 500 long. James finds the 500 as a warm-up.
Right.
And so he will keep going. And it wasn't until the very, very last meet, it was a coach who said, is that Savage kid who swims for a long time? And the other guy said, yeah. And he's like, crap, this is going to suck. And yeah, that Savage kid won again.
Yeah.
But that's what he does, is he's the distance kid.
Right. Yeah. It's funny. Like, it's neat to me, like that, that, and some of the other kind of young marathon swimmers I've talked to, like the Rivard sisters in Vermont. And I met a couple a girl in, I think she was in North Carolina last year, that was 11 and just
Mhm.
loving pushing distances. And,
Yeah.
I just wish that I would have known like it was this option. Like it just seems like the world is kind of your oyster, James. You've just
Yes.
so much out there that you could swim out there, swim across.
Yeah, we kind of found it on accident, and I was hoping, in the very beginning, it would be a one and done because I knew nothing about this,
Right.
and I knew nothing about swimmer. I wasn't a swimmer. My husband wasn't a swimmer. I knew nothing about swimming, and we from Alcatraz. Okay. All right. And we were hoping he'd hate it. And he got out and he said, "When's the next one?"
Uh-oh. Did they freeze? We lost you. Oh, are you back?
Oh, there it
There you
is.
go. Hey.
There it is. I was like, it froze.
Yeah, it freeze for a second. So
Yeah.
what are you most nervous about going into the length of Tahoe, James? What do you think?
Probably just being in the water for 12 hours is gonna be hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to do something like 10, 9, 8 beforehand? Anything like that?
Probably the Thunderbird.
I want to do the Thunderbird before the length.
Yeah.
It's a 14-mile swim.
Your phone keeps like.
So, but yeah, it should. I think that's really all we have planned for this year. We got a lot done last year, and it was all completely unplanned. All we had planned last year was for the Godfather swim. That was it. And then Reptile called us about 2 weeks later and said, "Hey, what are you doing next week?" So it sounds like you have something planned for us. Want to do the Pat Middle too? Okay. So we went back and did that. And then one of his training partners, she had scheduled the round trip Angel Island. And she said, "Hey, do you want to do it as a tandem?" James said, "Okay." Well, a week before, she had an injury.
Oh, no.
So it was like, well, we can call it off.
Yeah.
Reptile said, "No, let's do it." Okay. So we went out and did that. And we figured that would be the end of the year.
Yeah.
And his training partner said, "Hey, let's do around Coronado as a tandem." Okay. Well, then she got put on lockdown.
Oh, no.
Like a week before. And it's like, well, we've already got Dan scheduled. Let's just go and do it. So we went and did it anyways.
Yeah.
And he ended up, getting four big swims last year when we were only planning one.
Wow.
So it seems to be how we roll sometimes. It's just whatever comes up, we'll go do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a horrible way to spend a weekend, right?
Yeah. You go somewhere, go visit people, and go for a swim.
Yep. Do you ever get in the water, Jillian? Do you ever float around a little bit?
The kayak falls over.
The water's over 84.
The water's got to be 84 for me to get in. I'm not a water person. Even the pool in the backyard, it's got to be 84. I don't like getting cold. He'll splash me when I'm, kayaking, and it's like, "Oh, I will stop. You got me wet." Don't look at me. Yeah, no, I'll stick to kayaking with him. Yeah, I like that.
It's good to be on the water too. That's healthy. I mean, there's like, I don't know if you've heard the blue mind thing. It's like in, on, around water. It's just good for you. So.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking to move in the next few years, and our requirements with the house, it needs to have a lake or a pond in the front yard so he could go swim.
Yeah.
We did find a house in Indiana that had a pool in the basement.
Oh, wow.
James, you would just have to roll out of bed and go swimming. And that was like we joked that was our ideal perfect house. Have a pool for him in the basement and a big reservoir a mile down the road. But nice. Wherever we go, we need to have water.
Yeah.
For this one.
Yeah. That's good. Good. Who's inspired you, James?
Huh?
Who's inspired you?
Reptile, Catherine Breed, Kathy Harrington, Gretchen.
Yeah.
All sorts of people.
All sorts of people.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
I'm glad you got a good community. Thank you for
He really
sharing
does.
your
We
story today. I appreciate it, you guys.
Well, thank you for having him.
Yeah.
14-year-old boys are sometimes hard to get to do these things.
I think we should come back in 4 years and get the 18-year-old James story. I can't
Oh,
wait.
oh, that'll be entertaining. We watched, or I did. I saw an interview from when he was 8 or 9 the other day on YouTube, and oh, he looked like a baby. Still little, but he looked like a baby, and his little voice was so cute. And I look back and go, I let him do that. What the heck was I thinking? And I look at my daughter who's 11, and it's like, I never would let her swim across the pool right now.
Mm.
But he's 8 and I'm letting him swim across San Francisco. It's a different kid. It's really weird.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I hear you. Got a couple of my own.
Yeah.
Very different, but what's that?
Do they like to swim?
They love the water. I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean they're 4 and 6, so they love one of them will get in the water anytime, anywhere. If I mean, he wants to basically get in the water. He's gotten in freezing cold water before just because mom gets in the water, but the other one's kind of give or take. He can give or take it. He can swim and he likes to swim, but he's not like. I don't know. And where we live, there's not really many options for swim teams or anything like that. So I don't know that that'll be. And I don't know. I feel like I swam my whole life starting around like 7, 8, and
yes,
anyway, their whole life if they want to decide to swim later on. I just want them to be safe around water, and that we're done. Mission accomplished in that front. So
yes. I never in a million years would have thought this one of all of my kids would be the one who did this.
Yeah,
the kid who didn't want to join the swim team, and he crossed his arms and no. And bless you. When my oldest said, after he swam for 4 years, and it's like, I'm 13. I don't want to swim anymore. My daughter was 5. I said, do you want to join? She said, no. I go, well, James, he goes, can I go year round? Okay. And I mean, from the time he was little, he'd come home from swim practice and play coach. He'd play coach and blow the whistle at his brother and coach his brother across the pool. And, you're doing this wrong. And it's like, your brother's the one that's been swimming. And, he's in there coaching him, blowing that stupid whistle.
I had a whistle when I was little and everyone hated it.
Yeah.
I have air horns.
And he was like 7. He was getting ready to turn 8 when we switched him to the USA team. And on Friday, they had fun Fridays. And all the other kids are playing with pool noodles and balls and pool games. And my kid's over there swimming laps. We had to teach him how to play in the pool. It was really pathetic.
I don't know what to do in a pool unless I'm swimming either, James. My kids are like, let's play. I'm like, can I just go swim some laps?
And that's what he did. And it's like, wow, this is kind of sad that he doesn't know how to play,
Yeah, that's all right.
Now he does, though, huh?
Don't know how to do.
But
all right, you guys. Yeah. Well, keep swimming. I can't wait to hear all about Tahoe and maybe Anacapa and whatever else you get up to this year, James.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
We always do.
Good deal. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Do you want to take Marathon Swim Stories with you? Subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Want to connect with like-minded limit pushers? Join us for Marathon Swim Stories Live on Tuesdays at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 13:30 GMT. Thanks for watching.